wonderful. When I see them, I want to motorboat them. And they're all covered up, and it's like, well, you know, women should be modest and stuff like that. But you know what? It's my decision. It's their decision. Now, if a woman wants to wear a burqa, if a woman wants to cover, she's more than welcome to do that. But you know what? If she wants to let the sweater kittens roam free so they can be gloried and admired by everybody, it's like, I am all for it. It's her body, it's she wants to do. And that is why, you know, I take a look at the stuff that's going on overseas, and I'm saying, what, I'm proud to be an American, and that's me.
Okay. I think some things to touch up on, just kind of what you were talking about. Yeah, I remember going to a protest. We were protesting where I live. Israeli Prime Minister had come, and this is right after he had come. Right after, you know, remember the last attack on Gaza killed like 1,500 people. You know, most of them were civilians, and we were protesting. And there was one guy, or two guys, that had a sign. And they were really ignorant Muslims. I mean, the us were basically trying to shout them down. There was two guys with a sign saying, "Oh, all Jews deserve to die," or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing the news people took.
Yeah, they found them two guys.
Yeah, and it was really disappointing. So, but going back, yeah, I was hoping to talk about the sources of morality and stuff, but I don't want to kind of bog down the discussion with that necessarily. So perhaps we'll move into that later, or a later discussion.
Okay.
But okay, next question would be, why are you an atheist? Like, why, as in, why do you not see that there's convincing evidence?
Because Lacey Green is an atheist, and if I'm an atheist too, maybe she'll go out on a date with me. No, I'm kidding.
Really?
Lacey, are you still in the room? Why am I an atheist? I am an atheist simply because I don't believe in a God. Muslims, for example, you know, they don't believe in Zeus. They don't believe, you know, in this God, this God. I mean, Muslims, their status is there is only one God, and Muhammad is his prophet. That's the main core of Islam. I just happen to believe in one less God than you do. Now, to me, am I open to the concept that there's a God? Absolutely. If you can convince me that God exists, you know, because, I mean, for example, I was convinced at one time I was convinced there was a God. But it was after, you know, some things happened where I began to doubt my faith. Once the love goggles, because I actually brought this up in a video, there's love goggles. I mean, for example, when I was bringing up all the scientific errors that, in my opinion, exist in your book, you didn't see them. Each and every time, in my opinion, you did not refute these to my satisfaction. But that's because you're looking at your Quran through love gog. I mean, a religion is such a core central part to your body. It's just like looking at your wife. You know, you love your wife, you're crazy about her, and you know what? If I were to meet your wife, maybe she's got like a mole on her cheek, and it just drives me crazy. Maybe she picks her nose. There's just that one little thing that would bother me. But to you, you don't even see it because you're in love with your wife. You're crazy about it. It's the same thing with religion. Take a look at your Muslim religion, and I'm seeing holes big enough for me to drive a Mack truck through, but you're not seeing it because you're in love with your religion. And it was only when I was able to distance myself from my religion and be able to take a critical analysis of my beliefs that because atheism, it's not a belief, it's a conclusion. It's a result of investigating the evidence. And Sensitive says that's a little condescending. So I'm not trying to be condescending.
And I wasn't rolling my eyes.
I'll roll my eyes. Oh my God.
I have three things to mention on this. I've heard the statement several times that I believe in one less God than you. Mm-hmm. That may certainly be the case, but the reason that I believe in God, or I don't believe in those gods, is for an entirely different reason than you do.
Okay.
The reason I don't believe in those other gods is based on the law of non-contradiction. Is because I believe in a God that I cannot believe in those other gods. So it's not necessarily the same.
Why can't you believe in other gods? For example, the Hindu religion believes in many gods.
They do believe in many gods because they're polytheistic. Well, there's two forms of Hinduism. There's the Brahmanites, which are more monotheistic. But because I'm a monotheist, I mean, it would be logically contradictory for me to believe in a second god or more.
Because your religion teaches there's only one god.
Well, not necessarily, because I'm also convinced that there's only one god.
Okay.
Secondly, I think you referred to the love goggles, and I just want to bring this up. I'm not trying to get into any sort of confrontation with this. I don't think it's a very fair analysis. I'm not looking at I don't think I'm looking at my religion through love goggles, or sort of this sort of biased perspective that says, well, I could be wrong. See, I entered Islam through research, and even though I'm not a scholar or anything, I think that I have, I think I believe what I believe to be true, and I think similarly with you as well. Whatever you believe to be true, and we both, I believe, are open to the possibility that we may be wrong. Now,
really?
In reference to the scientific, yes, I mean that's a model that I live by. I've been, I've lived, if I really wasn't like that, I would never have chosen my field of study or tried to pursue it for the rest of my life. And when you brought up the whole scientific errors in the Quran, you just said, well, I don't agree with what you're saying because of these blood goggles, and that wasn't the case at all. It's just that I don't think it was mainly kind of like a loaded question, sort of like the question like, have you stopped beating your wife yet? Well, I never beat my wife to begin with, so I can't really answer that question. And you're saying, well, have you seen all the scientific errors in the Quran? Well, I don't think the Quran is necessarily talking about a lot of scientific things, so I can't really answer that question. Okay. And then I think the third point that you brought up, what was the third thing that you brought up? I'm sorry, I can't remember now. Do you remember what you said? I can't remember.
I have no idea what I said.
Okay.
But that's okay. People are recording it. We'll each upload videos to our own channels. I'll say I pwned Dawa, and you'll say I pwned HappyCabbie. It'll be wonderful.
No, I don't think it's even about pwning, because in my personal opinion, too, being challenged with our beliefs helps to either strengthen our beliefs in that we can research them and see whether they are correct or not, or it helps us to question things.
Yeah, I
and what I want to say is that, to this too, is that I don't think either of us should look at each other and say, oh, we have love goggles on, and I would never say that either. And I'm not saying that you're wrong for saying that. I understand where you're coming from. But what I want to say is that in order for us to have a discussion like this, we both have to believe that what we believe is true.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to take it from that direction.
Okay. Next question.
Okay, next question. God, I don't remember anymore. Let's see. I assume, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I assume that because there's a lack of empirical evidence for the existence of God, or direct empirical evidence for the existence of God, I assume that you believe things based on empirical evidence, or verifiable physical evidence. Now, this is a question I like to ask all atheists. How do you verify the belief? And I'm not saying you have this necessarily. I'm just saying that most atheists seem to, so you might as well. But how do you reconcile the fact that your belief that empirical evidence is necessary for something you believe in cannot be proven empirically?
Okay. HappyCabbie no like big words, but let me go ahead and see if I can figure this out. Now, first of all, because like I said, I was a fundamentalist Christian before, fundamentalist Baptist. Those of you that are watching, pretty much along the lines of what Venom Fang X believed is what I believed. So it's pretty strong stuff. Anyway, what first had to happen is for me to take a critical analysis of my beliefs and come to the conclusion that those beliefs were wrong. And that reverts me to the default position that there is no God. Now, I am open to the concept of God. I'm open to the concept of heaven. I'm open to the